Here we go, live for YouTube. Ready? Say what's up, YouTube.
What up, YouTube?
What's up, YouTube?
All right. And last but not least, here we go for the podcast. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We're going in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of Business Bros. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode in July. Beautiful San Diego summer heat. It's not super hot yet, but it's summer anyways. Pools are warm. Clothes is coming off. Jumping in the pool. We're ready to rock and roll.
Here.
Right? Well, not me, but my kids anyways. Right? Living in shorts all day. All right, we got a great show for you guys today. Hernan here, host of the Business Bros podcast, along with my co-host,
the insurance bro, James Cias with Pipeline Insurance.
And who do we got on the show today, Ham?
Oh, as always, a very exciting guest. I'm actually really interested to learn everything that this super gentleman has to bring to us today. We are joined, thank you very much for joining us today, Mr. Zack Hollander of Epoch Visuals. I got it right.
Epic.
There you go.
Yeah,
Not
Epic
Epoch,
Visuals. Not Epoch. Epic.
Thanks
Welcome
for having
to
me,
the show.
guys. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Before we get started, because I'm gonna start off with the most obvious question first. If you guys walked in, well, if you would have seen him walk in, we had an obvious question that I wanted to ask about. He's wearing it on his sleeve, but before that, 365 pairs of shoes, ladies and gentlemen. So if you got new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up 619-884-0045 or James at csfirst.com. Hop on his Harley. He'll ride over there. Pick up those bad boys from you. We appreciate every single one. The thermometer is in. So we haven't put it up yet, but we got the thermometer in the house. We're going to count up the shoes where we're at. We're going to start giving away some of the ones that we did in July. And there you go. He's holding it up. There you go. So we're going to start filling up, and you guys can visually see where we're at. And hopefully we get to our quota quicker with a visual in the background.
It'll be back there soon.
It'll be back there soon.
And you
All
know,
right.
I mean, I don't know, man. We'll talk about it later.
So much to talk about.
So much to talk about. But let me just hint. Grant Cardone.
Oh, damn. Okay. 10X. All right, here we go.
Oh,
Zack. What's up with that tattoo, dude? You got it today?
Yeah, I got a tattoo.
Today.
Just finished it about an
Still
hour
wrapped.
ago.
All right,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that. I mean, tell me a little bit about yourself, but I want to know.
Can we see that one more time here?
Yeah, let's see that one more
Absolutely.
time.
Well, it's
Woo.
kind of hard, but
Yeah, just twist your arm off and then
There
you'll
you
be
go.
fine.
it's a phoenix.
There you go.
It's a rising phoenix.
Oh, nice.
Rising from the ashes.
I figured it was
Yeah.
when I saw it. I was thinking either eagle or phoenix, but you have that color in there, so I kind of figured it
Yeah.
was a neat. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about the story of that tattoo.
My brother actually had a phoenix sleeve on his entire arm, and he was in an accident June 1st and passed away.
Oh,
This year?
man.
Yeah.
Holy moly,
Jesus. I'm sorry.
No,
Wow.
no worries. So, yeah, so he did that, and he taught me everything that I learned about business, and was kind of like a good mentor. And that's just something I wanted to get done and have it. And it's like rising from the ashes is definitely something that holds strong to my mentality, I think. So
Oh, yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I did not expect that
Yeah.
at all.
No, for
probably should
sure.
have gave you guys a heads up. But
No, you know what? That's why we don't talk before the show,
Yeah.
is because these genuine reactions.
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your brother, if you're comfortable with it?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. So, like high school, probably 2008. He graduated in 2009, 2010. He started his own like graphic design shirt business, and he was just like hustling, buying like $2 shirts, learning how to like press them and everything himself. And then from there, it turned into like car detailing and car wraps. And over the next 10 years, he like built his own business. And he lived in the house and worked out of our garage for the most part. So I was always there watching him do his stuff, and I saw all the lows.
Yeah,
But I also,
all the struggles, right?
Yeah, exactly. All the struggles, everything, the financial pressure, the business relations that he had to build and stuff like that. So I saw all that from the beginning, and then like just like this last 2 years, after 10 years, like building it up, he's finally putting it together. And yeah, so I learned everything from him, and he was just getting into opening up his own official shop and whatnot.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, so
Wow.
yeah.
How much older than you was he?
2 years.
2 years older.
2 years
Yeah.
older.
Yeah, that's pretty close to us.
Yeah, we're about 15 months apart. That'd
Yeah.
be hard.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
No,
My
Heart goes out to you, man.
Yeah,
there's
big
no
time.
there's no words for it, but I mean he is an amazing dude. He touched a lot of people's lives in our area for sure.
So Epoch Visuals, was this something that you started with him, because of him?
No, it was actually me and one of my friends that he graduated from SESU, and he was like, okay, I don't want to be a teacher anymore. And we were talking, and then we were like, what can we do? And we saw people posting like photos and videos, and we were like, we could do better than that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, for like the small businesses, because that's what we focus on mostly. And none of us ever had a nice camera, so we just randomly went out, bought some cameras, started filming, putting stuff together, and then it's been 2.5, 3 years now. And it's a full-fledged business. I just quit my job at a restaurant I've been at for 8 years last week, and doing it full-time now.
Doing it full-time, dude. That's
yeah.
Well, tell me the whole thing, dude. I mean, it's one thing when you get started. It's another thing when you decide to leap and, go on your own. What was that? I mean, where did that even come from? Like, where did you decide, like, was it like, because now you're earning a specific amount of money, or is it because now you want to dedicate time? Like, what made that choice?
There's so many different decisions that went into it, because a year ago I was ready to quit, and then it just wasn't the right time. And then I kept working, and then I was like, okay, I'm ready. And then something little would happen. I was like, it's just not the right time. So I just kept pushing it off. And then with like the accident that happened, and then I was just getting tired of constantly dealing with the food industry and stuff like that. So I was like, let's just go for it. Might as well. I'm making a decent amount. I'm making a livable income. So I was like, might as well just go full force into it, because I was already having to pass up jobs to work at the restaurant. So might as well work on my own business. So that's what we finally last Thursday, I was done.
I was checking out your Instagram, and I saw, I mean, you do some property stuff, you do some stuff in that realm, but you also have some like epic shots of like vacation spots, sightseeing, dirt biking. Yeah. Like, I mean, you just go crazy with the camera, or do you have like a specific thing that you want to eventually be at?
I just had a really good conversation with my half brother yesterday about this, because I grew up going to the desert. My dad grew up going to the desert for the past 40 years. So the action sports and off-road industry is something I love to do. Unfortunately, it's really hard to break into, and to do it, you have to have a requirement of gear for certain teams. So mostly my jobs are real estate or wedding films. And wedding films came from a friend that just randomly asked me to shoot theirs. And turns out I love to do it. It's wedding films. It's fun because you build relationships with people, and you get to watch, like, most of the time it's their best day in their life yet. So it's amazing to go shoot that. And then real estate homes, it's fun to shoot, and it's a good filler income for now.
Yeah. It's not really the niche that you want to really get into.
No, it's not bad, but it's weddings, and then action sports or lifestyle is definitely what I'm working in my way into.
Well, I like the fact that you said that at weddings you get to network with people, because there are a ton of people at a wedding. Yeah. And they do a number of different things. Yeah. So, like, are you when you do a wedding, is it something that you do like from beginning, from like when they get engaged and they're planning, and you document the whole process, or is it just that day?
It totally depends on the couple. Most of the time, they already have like a photographer that does their engagement. I mostly focus on the video side for weddings. But most of the time I'm trying to, it's not, I just want to go shoot your wedding and be done. I want to build a relationship and like keep in contact with you. I want to be your friend. That's the thing, because like when people are comfortable with you, you get the best shots. And then at the end, you still have a good relationship with them. I think that's the way to do it. And I think most people are just like, it's like a money. It's just money and no relationship. And I think relationship is better than money at any point.
Oh, 100%. The currency in a relationship,
there's
hands down
no value on it.
How else are you going to get the next job and the next job and the next job?
Word of mouth. If somebody's like, he did a good job, but he wasn't friendly, like nobody wants to hire you if you're not friendly.
I don't want to work with that asshole.
No, exactly. So I don't know. Wedding films is something I really love to do, but I'm gonna push my way into lifestyle and off-road industry, I think, in the next coming years.
How have you been growing that? Like, has it been like strictly social media, like Instagram, Facebook type stuff, or have you been
word of mouth?
Word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth. Mostly just. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm a super social person and go out of my way a lot, but if I find you interesting, I'll talk to you and kind of get your ideas on stuff and whatnot. And I have a few friends that are in the off-road industry. I have friends in the wedding film industry, so I'll just talk to them, and then sometimes they refer me, or sometimes I'll randomly hit them up on social media and be like, hey, let me come shoot you. I'm sure you guys could use some content.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and try to work my way in. Unfortunately, you can't always get paid right away if you don't have any experience in that field.
Yeah, you kind of have to have your
it's
repertoire.
a trade of services.
Yeah,
exactly.
Have you done any networking with people who have like venues or like what do they call the guys that the ones that do the ceremony?
The ministers. There's coordinators, florists. I do my best to network with every little person who's there, because they're always going to be like, a florist will be like, he was really cool. Or like the last wedding I just shot this weekend, there's a jewelry store that gave the bride jewelry just for the wedding. And I talked to them. They're like, if you get me a few shots, we'll definitely use it and whatnot. So just whatever we can put our name on, I guess.
Yeah, man, and we've made a couple connections with like a vineyard, for example, right here locally in San Diego. We've talked. I have a tax client that he does weddings, like he does the the ceremony stuff. I can't even for whatever reason. I
think it's minister.
There's something else though that ministers, priests, pastors, all those do the same thing, but there's a certain word for it. It's gonna slip. It's gonna bother me until I get it. But anyways,
ordained.
Ordained minister. I don't know, man. I don't know what it's called. Anyways,
officiant.
Yeah, officiant.
Okay,
all right, whatever. Sure. That's probably the word that was stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Sure. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
No, but
we'll go with that.
We literally used 10 words to describe the same thing. That's cool.
Yeah. It's just
now everyone knows it.
Yeah. It's just when it's on the tip of your tongue and you like want to just get it out. Yeah. Like that. Whatever.
Yeah. Event planners. That's another one though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just any one of those people that you can sit down and talk to and network. I'm gonna hook you up with a couple of these people anyways, because they're always looking for more clients to come in their direction.
Yeah,
and I'm sure it works both ways. Like you're gonna have people who are like, hey, do you know a caterer? Do you know a good venue? Do you know a good officiant?
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere too. Like there's one wedding coordinator I worked with 2 years ago. And we just like kind of hit off, talked for a little while after the wedding. I helped her move stuff around during the wedding so that we could get the job done right. And 2 years later, she called me out of the blue and had a job for me.
You're like, yes.
I was like, all right, cool.
That was one box lifted that helped out.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, like it's like the littlest things. Like just be friendly, and it goes full circle.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. And
you can't fake genuineness.
No, you can't.
No.
Have you done anything as far as like paid ads yet?
Paid ads, yeah. I've done some of my real estate stuff. I've created like videos to try to attract more agents and stuff like that. Weddings, I haven't had to, just because I already have to limit the amount of weddings I take on so I can actually get stuff done in a timely manner. Because it's me and my one other shooter, but he works Monday through Friday, so it's mostly me doing stuff late at nights or on the weekends when we don't have stuff going on.
Do you ever do like a multi-camera at a wedding?
We try to. So normally our setup is I'm on one camera, he's on one, then we have a tripod too. We don't do live streams just because that.
Well, not everybody wants a live stream.
It gets a little too hectic.
Well, no, it's because the thing that we use in here that people are seeing on our cameras, the multi-cameras, we use Sling Studio, and it was originally designed for like churches and multiple angles so that you can have one person, like James is over here on the laptop, and he's literally controlling the cameras. Yeah. And so you can have multiple cameras set up. Okay. And then it all records to one spot, and you can have individual feeds.
Oh, that's cool.
And that way, like when it comes to editing, the more angles you have, the better, right?
Oh, definitely.
The same type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a nice little additional thing that you can add to your repertoire.
Yeah.
That thing's kind of expensive. It's like $1,000 for that little hub, but it changes everything.
Yeah.
It changes the dynamic. Now you can go a 2-man shoot into like 6 cameras.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Close-ups or whatever you need, whatever
Yeah.
it is that you're looking for.
Yeah, it'd probably be a game changer for weddings. The hardest part for us is we set up a camera, and most of the time there's some person standing up in the ceremony, and somehow their head always just ends up right in the front of the camera. So we have to run over there, change it real quick. So it gets a little hectic. But our videos, we like to have a lot of movement. We don't have the
static.
We have the one tripod, and during the ceremony we might use, I don't know, for the edit, maybe 10 seconds from the tripod. Everything else is movement, because I think that's what's compelling.
Well, it's the transitions, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're creating video, tell me like what you're thinking about in the process. I mean, obviously you want to tell the story of whatever happened.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, there's a lot of different types of transitions that I'm seeing. My kids are like musically addicted, right? Yeah. You seen that Musically app? Yeah, so they
like
love
TikTok
that.
Or
TikTok.
Like
Sorry, it used to be Musically, now it's TikTok.
It's the
same thing.
Yeah.
But they love, like, she loves to see different types of transitions, and I think it's how we're trained. When you watch anything on TV, it's always click, 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 click.
Yeah.
It might be the same 2 people talking,
Mm-hmm.
but the change in the angle is always changing. It just kind of captures us.
Yeah.
What do you think about when you're creating a video to help like bring that sort of stuff to life?
Most of the time, the starting basis is I always try to find music, because music's going to be the most compelling part of any video ever. Like if you think back on movies, and you subconsciously, the soundtrack is what gets you like involved in everything. So I find a song that goes with the flow of that and kind of tells a story of that. And then while I'm shooting sequences, so I'll do like a wide shot, then an up close shot, and then like a medium shot, so I can at least like put together little pieces in the video to tell a story on what was a 5-second shot, but now it's 15 because I have so many different little things. So I just put it together to try to tell like a flowing story that's not jumping it around everywhere. Some people like that style, but for me, I like something that's flowing, and the transitions, I like just keeping them going in one way.
Smooth.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like just pushing you towards like the peak.
I like that.
You
And
know?
I mean, I've sat down and edited some videos myself, and I mean, they're all right. But like, I agree with you. The music is like step number 1. Once you get whatever it is, it's kind of like as you're putting things together, they fall into place with the music.
Exactly.
Right?
So I'm just going to say that there's definitely one thing that always rings in my head, right? There's, whenever I hear, I know it's about to go down.
Yeah.
It's about to go down.
Right? 2 movies, Shrek and Thor.
Shrek and Thor.
It's about to be epic.
It's about to go. So
Yeah.
it's all about that music.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you can think back to almost any soundtrack. Rocky, right? You just know, like, you're about to go hard on something, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to get down. And, like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm too early for
karaoke.
karaoke. My
Isn't that
bad.
on Thursdays?
Yeah, it's on Thursdays, but we had this little Saturday night karaoke. It's still lingering.
Nah, dude. When it comes to music, I've noticed that when I pull a song that's like, you know, an artist that's on the radio, YouTube tends to like, bing, they like hit me with a copyright thing.
Yeah.
And it's not, it even says it's not an infraction or anything. They're just telling me that this is somebody else's music.
Yeah.
It's been tagged. Like, do you ever have any issues when choosing music, or are you picking like just random stuff? It's not like super public or anything, right? It's just for this particular individual, but
It definitely depends. So the first couple weddings, we weren't very big yet, so we still aren't very big, but we weren't very like educated on like the process of doing it right. So the first couple, we found some really good ones off YouTube, downloaded it, did the whole thing, and put it on there. And I just found out, like, so that was 2 years ago. Last year, I found a copyright strike on it, and they took down the video. And I always talk to brides to see like what kind of music that they think will go best, and a lot of them want like Ed Sheeran or stuff like that, which now I know, like, there's a very famous wedding videographer who got hit with like a giant fine, like $150,000 fine for using copyrighted music. So I found a music licensing site that I now just get all my songs off. They're not always big artists, but there's 50,000 songs.
Yeah, different songs.
Yeah, so,
yeah, they're gonna hit your mood the way you want it to.
Exactly. I have plenty of choices, so that's the way to go. I mean, it's a monthly fee, but it's a lot better than a fine.
But you feel free.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not worried about and that's one of those things where I was like, I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm not selling this video anyways.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it up there for free. If they take it down, they take it down, whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you said the music thing, that's the first thing that popped in my head. I'm like, there's a lot of music that I want to use.
Yeah.
And then like today I was listening to something and they were talking about how Old Town Road got popular. How that artist, like everybody's like, oh, he's going to be a one-hit wonder. But when they sat down and talked to them, that he was saying that the way he made the song popular is he created like 50 memes and used that song in the background, and it just attracted attention that way. And I was like, that's smart. That's like a strategy behind.
Wasn't
getting
that Billy Ray Cyrus? Billy Ray Cyrus?
He did a remix with him, but that's almost like it's like almost guerrilla marketing. You're having people market for you.
Yeah,
you know, that's what like Starbucks does is they write the name wrong, so people are posting on social media saying like, oh, you did this wrong. Mm-hmm. But people didn't, like, subconsciously they'd see the Starbucks logo. So that's what they were doing. So when it was memes, which gets even more views than what like a Starbucks cup would get, it's almost like guerrilla marketing.
Smart though, right?
It is smart.
It's crazy,
but it's strategic.
Yeah, very.
Right? It makes all the difference in the world.
Very.
Like whenever you're starting to do some of these things, like there's people who do it and it's an accident. There's people who are purposely, intentionally doing whatever that is that they're doing. You know what I mean? And like, so for me, like when you talked about, you know, adding music, starting with the music, it's intentional, it's purposeful. Like you're doing it specifically in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
Well, there's that, and then you also have to think like there's music, and then there's added sound effects too. Like if you think about like Coca-Cola, their commercials, some of them don't have music. It's just that pop. Exactly. Yeah. That's all you know. If you add the music and then you add little things where people barely pick it up, but they notice it, it's just crazy.
Yeah, well,
people are like, whoa, I never realized that, and I felt this emotion without even realizing it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like at a wedding, if you like add like a little wedding bell somewhere, or if there's like I'm working on a wedding right now and there's ocean in the background, you just add a little bit of ocean waves sound to it. That
might not have been in live, but you see the water and it adds that effect. Yeah. Dude, that makes all. I mean, it was funny. You think of sound effects. I think of Eminem. Like when Eminem first came out on the scene, like I always thought he was awesome. But you listen to his music, he always had weird ass stuff in the background, like little noises, animal noises, little sound effects. That wasn't around before him. Like he added those little things. Well, I mean, at least not the music that I listen to, anyways, right? Yeah. So he added those little things, and it brought that little bit of extra fun or something into the music that you wouldn't normally, add to. Like that little feeling inside you, which is what you're after, right? Yeah. When you're creating a video, when you're creating this content, you're trying to pull at somebody's heartstrings. You're trying to tug at an emotion. Yeah. Right. I mean,
that's how they get connected to you.
Right. Yeah. Right. So when you're doing the videos, like I just wonder when. I'm not super creative, right? I mean, I have some creativity and I can think of some stuff, but there's some people who are very purposeful, very intent in the creativity that they're doing. And one of the things that I'm trying to pull is to create content around an emotion. Yeah. Right. And obviously it's storytell. Yeah. Storytell. Get better at it. Like, I mean, but there's a difference, right? I can tell you a story. Like the chicken was here. It looked across the street, decided it was going to cross the road, and it crossed. Like there's a story, doesn't necessarily have an emotion attached to it. Right. Yeah. But if you dig a little deeper and like, hypothetically, you can always like get a little bit more out of it, like even if it's the smallest thing, if you just add a few more shots of something, like whether it just be like a long shot of the chicken looking off, it's still like people are like, what's it thinking? Yeah, exactly. It's like little stuff. Or like, you know, like one side. No, I get what you're saying though.
You know?
Yeah, it's the different little. But see, that's the type of stuff that I don't think that way. Like I can tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
But sometimes that creative mind comes out and adds those little pieces.
Uh-huh.
So like, are you doing that stuff to your videos? Are you doing that stuff to your content, trying to bring a little more emotion?
I need to be adding more to it. When I first started, that's what I was going for, is to bring out emotion. And then I had a few months where it was just pretty bland, very vanilla like, and just like the past few months, I'm like trying to like actually write down ideas, do stuff like that, so I can actually base a video off storytelling.
Yeah.
For weddings, it's pretty easy because there's always little things that the bride chose that venue for. They want this here for something, or they have like little mementos like a grandma's wedding ring or something like that. So it's pretty easy to have like something for the actual bride. But as far as like my own personal videos, I'm working on trying to make it more storytelling like.
Because I saw, I mean, even adding little things, we were talking a little bit about music, but even adding visual effects. Like I saw a picture of that you had on Instagram where a guy was riding his bike and like hit the sand dune, and you're making like it's a still photo,
yeah,
but the sand it's pixelated, right? So the pixels are moving to
yeah,
make it look as if the sand is busting out, right?
Uh-huh.
Like those types of things just capture the eye a little more. They remind me of like a Harry Potter look.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I'm looking at the newspaper, it's a still photo, but it's not. It's moving.
It's weird.
Right?
It's very weird.
And those little things are those little touches to the quality of work that you do that just like makes people stop.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It makes people like, whoa, that looks cool. Let me share that.
Even if it's for a half second.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's a shareable moment.
Yeah.
Right? It's like this is literally like, you know, this is amazing. This is something that's remarkable, right? I mean, remarkable.
Different.
It's worth more, you know, talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I dig that sort of stuff when I was looking at your Instagram.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we're just trying to do things a little bit differently. Just find a little niche somewhere, something that just, instead of people just scrolling down all the way, they see a picture but it has some movement. They're like, what was that? Like it was almost like a Twitch.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, let me ask you, like, what's the biggest hurdle that you think you've had to overcome? Something that if you would have overcome this earlier, you'd have been doing this full time yourself.
That's tough.
Kind of a tough one, huh?
Yeah, it is. But I think it's I think like it's confidence in like believing what you're doing. Like I said, I kept pushing back quitting my restaurant job. So I think it was mostly because I was like, oh man, I got a car payment, I got rent, I have bills, but like, and I was like, oh, I just got to replace this income, but I just couldn't do it. I think now it's just like there's no reason why I can't.
Well, let's hover on the confidence thing. What kind of confidence? Like you didn't believe in your work, or you didn't believe in your ability to earn? Like what kind of confidence are we talking about? Because I mean, they could be both, could be one or the other. Like
I think the biggest thing is like confidence in work, because I mean you see other people who've been doing it for years, like double the amount of time I have, and they're still not that big name, or they're not the go-to guys yet. And I'm like, I've only been doing it for 2 years. I still don't have that much experience, and I still have a lot to learn. So me quitting my job and then having all these things to me was just like, it was a bad idea. But then I started like looking at it more, and I was like, there's no reason if I put every like day and I have all the free time, I could say yes to jobs or I can say no to jobs. Like I don't see why I wouldn't be able to do whatever I needed to do to survive and start like doing everything I've always wanted to do.
So your bills didn't change. You're still you.
Yeah.
Like you said, you have a lot to learn. How'd you overcome that confidence issue? Like what did you put away? What was that thing that you said, all right, like I
think what he's saying is, was there like an aha moment where you just decided, I'm doing this, I'm burning the ships behind me, and I'm going?
Yeah, it was it was I was at a night at the restaurant. There's like 2 people that called out, so we were short staffed. We were just slammed there. There's people just, can I cuss?
Yeah.
people were just bitching and moaning the whole time. I had people coming up to me just like yelling like it was my fault, and I was like, I have nothing to do with this. Why are you yelling at me at my throat? And like just dealing with people like that, I was like, I'd much rather be able to run and handle my own business, and then I can treat people however I feel is needed to be treated. Or if somebody's being rude, I don't have to answer to them.
Yeah.
You know, I like being able to pretty much have complete control over my future. And I think that night I was just like, I'm ready to just do whatever it is to make it happen for myself.
So somebody flipped your switch.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for 8 years, and I've handled myself as the best that I could. But like that.
But let's be honest. This time you had a reason to. You wanted to leave.
Yeah.
You had already made that decision inside yourself that you were not going to be in this place very much longer.
Exactly.
Because you've dealt with people like that before.
And how long ago was that?
That was probably about 2 months ago. About 2 months ago, somebody they said the wrong thing, and I was like, all right, here's my 2 weeks. Here you guys go.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I quit on the spot.
No.
Like, here's my talent.
No. I couldn't do that. I'm not.
F you. You're cool.
Yeah, right? No, I can't say anything because the restaurant's been amazing for me. They've always supported everything I did. Like when I was in high school, I went and played soccer over in Europe for a little bit, and they let me go. No questions asked. I played college soccer at Queen Maca 5 days a week, drove up to LA 2 days a week for soccer, went to school full time, and they worked with my schedule all the time. They're always super, super cool and let me do whatever I needed to do.
You ever do any promos for them?
Yeah, I actually just shot their website photos.
Nice.
Yeah. So the owner and the owner's daughter and their whole family, they've always been super cool. So I've got nothing but good things to say about them. It's just
your time.
Some of those people that go in there, some of those customers, man.
Yeah.
Huh. That's the service industry, right?
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
True.
You never know what's going on in their life.
No.
They're going through something or whatever, and they feel like they can just project it wherever they want to.
Just like me, like if they get the wrong order, I mean, it might just flip their switch and they just can't.
It was just the last wrong thing of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know with people. You can't always read them.
Dude, all right.
I'm just checking out your Instagram, and I'm impressed.
Right? Those pictures are awesome.
Yeah, they really are. So everybody, go ahead. Actually,
yeah, now's a perfect time. I want you
now
to
is that perfect time.
Look at this camera right here.
Okay.
And I want you to tell people how they get in contact with you if they want to work with you.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got a website. It's epochvisuals.com. It's epoch-visuals.com. I've got an email that you can hit us up through there. It's epochvisuals.zack@gmail.com. Or I have 2 Instagrams, Zack Hollander or Epoch Visuals. You can DM me, message me. If you find my phone number on there, give me a call. It's probably on this podcast.
Yeah, it should be on your banner.
It should be right here.
Just point somewhere. It's on your
it's right in front of your microphone. Just
okay.
There you go.
Right there.
Now he sees it.
Yeah, so just give me a call, or if you guys have any questions, feel free to answer. Even if you guys just want to go out and shoot, I'm always down to go have a good time.
I know a couple people that'll be getting married. So if you guys haven't, do you cross the border by any chance?
I haven't recently. I did last year when I went to go shoot a
Baja.
Yeah, I went down to Ensenada to shoot it's a pet shelter, adoption shelter that's in Ensenada, and me and one of my good photographer friends did a bunch of content work for her so we can try to raise some money, and we brought down like $600 worth of dog food so they could feed the dogs because they have like 200 dogs down there. It's crazy.
It's nuts. But I was just wondering because I know a lot of people have their weddings and they end up, because weddings are so expensive overall.
Oh yeah.
They tend to do it over there.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. I was just asking. I don't know if you did or not. Some people are like, nah, dude, I don't cross. Like me, I rarely cross the border.
Yeah.
It's been years since I crossed the border.
I'm done in a couple weeks for the first time in 5 years.
See?
Really?
So it's not like everybody does it, but if you do, you do.
Yeah, I think it depends. It depends where, when, and then who I'm going with. That's the biggest thing.
I need a tour guide.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not Mexican enough for this.
I used to be. I haven't been lately.
I need somebody who can translate Spanish for me.
Yeah.
I can pick up little stuff, but if when we went down there, we got pulled over, and I got a little scared, to be honest. And he checked out the car, had us roll down the windows, opened up the back, and sent us on our way. But still
nerve-wracking, huh?
Oh, very.
You're in another country.
I was in another country. We had like a couple grand worth of camera gear. You never know.
You never know. See,
never know.
That's scary for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm glad it worked out, though.
Yeah, I am too. They got their dog food.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, why do you have all this dog food? Step out of the vehicle.
Exactly. Suspicious.
Right?
No.
All right, last little segment here. We're going to, actually two. I'm going to ask you who would be a good guest to have on the podcast.
Okay.
So think of that in your head for a second. And then it's the Ask the Bros. So feel free to ask us a question, personal, business.
Okay.
Directly to James, directly to me, either one, both.
Okay. So who'd be good for the podcast?
Yeah. Who do you think would be a good guest for the podcast?
I think my girlfriend's sister, her name's Lindsay Brookshire. She owns a subscription bow club for little babies. It's called Olivia's Bow Club. And
really?
She's really good. She's really good at what she does.
All right. Yeah.
She's amazing.
What was her name again?
Lindsay Darnell or Lindsay Brookshire.
Boom.
Yeah.
Little bows like for babies, like in their hair?
Yep, subscription box.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So they get different bows and they send them back? And
you get 3 bows in the subscription box, and then you get them each month. You keep them, or they have like random little bows that they do with different designs that you can purchase.
That's cool. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear that.
They've been a business for almost 2 years now. Yeah.
I like subscription based too. We could talk a lot about that.
Yeah, there's a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the sustainability of that too.
Super. It's crazy. It's blown up. She's doing well for herself.
All right. Ask the bros a question.
Okay. What got you guys started on podcasts?
What got we? You know what? I always tell the story. James, tell this story.
James, let's hear it. Man.
That guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty easy. So, well, you know what? I always like to go back a little bit further and tell the story of how I basically ruined his life. Way back when with our first business, it was a computer business, and I was the computer guy. And then I was dating a girl, got my heart broken, and said, "Deuces, I'm out of here," and left him holding the bag.
Oh, man.
And so when I came back after I joined the Navy for 8 years, and when I came back after the Navy, I was like, I'm never gonna let my bro down like that again. And so, we're starting to do our business stuff and everything. And then next thing you know, he's like, hey, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and a lot of Gary Vee and a lot of this, that, and the other. And we're going to start doing a podcast. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. He says, and we're going to do it every day. I said, what? We're going to do what?
Excuse me?
Every day. I was like, oh, shit. Okay. All right, I'm in. We're doing it. And so
here we are.
Almost a year to the day. 2 days ago, it was our anniversary, and took a random snapshot and put the whole thing together in a day. Ordered some stuff off of Amazon, and here we are a year later.
Boom,
Nice.
craziness.
That's cool.
Media company first, everything else second. So it's funny because I'll expand on what he's doing. I feel like whatever it is that you love to do, you should be having a podcast on that anyways. Yeah. Talk about that thing. Something that it's like, I know for me, the biggest thing is I want to have an impact on as many people as possible. Right. And so I know that that's going to happen by being able to talk to as many people as possible. Like we're friends now.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's,
we just built a relationship because you learned stuff about what I've been going through.
Exactly.
That's how it happens.
And that's how this works. And it's growing an audience of its own. We're primarily real estate audience based right here, but if now it's gotten to the point a year later where people know that we sell insurance. Like that's what we do, right? Mm-hmm. And so our audience is now reaching out to us. Our audience, if you want to look up Pipeline Insurance, right? So our audience knows what we do. Our guests know what we do, and we're starting to generate business. It took a good year almost, right? But now it's starting to churn. Right? And so, I was having this discussion with my wife. I'm trying to get my wife to do a podcast with me, and we'll talk about our own relationship, right? And how we raise our kids and the different conflicts that we have, because that's another topic that obviously I'm passionate about. And then we'll build a whole new audience there, and then maybe I'll sell real estate in that audience, right? Or something, whatever. And they'll know that this is specifically the thing that I do. Yeah. And it's just a matter of, building an audience for those different things that you do in your life. I think of myself as, CBS, NBC, Fox News, whatever.
Yeah.
And if you look at Fox, they have multiple different channels on Fox.
Yeah.
So this is a channel in our life.
Well, the cool thing about podcasts is like everyday people can do it, and they share what's going on in their lives, and people like to see that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Instead of like celebrities or like higher up people, I guess, in the world, like people just generally like they get along, or they can like
you find your tribe,
Yeah, exactly,
essentially, right?
exactly.
Like-minded people tend to find each other.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of this whole podcast thing is we're basically a beacon, and it's, we have a specific signal that goes out, whether it's the way our dialogue is, whether it's our guest, whether it's the topic, but that beacon is being sent out.
Yeah.
And people will gradually gravitate to that beacon if they're like-minded, if they find that stuff interesting and that sort of stuff, and you build your tribe around it. You just happen to be the one at the center building that tribe.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so, how many tribes do you want to build? Well, it depends on how many shows you want to put out.
Yeah.
Because I know personally there's a lot of things that interest me. It's not just this one thing.
Yeah.
This is a big core part of my life, but there are other things. And so if you build channels on base those other things, then you'll have different tribes in those types of your life. I mean, that's what it's all about for me, I think.
Absolutely.
Cool. Answer to your question?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, hey, man, thanks for coming out.
Appreciate it, man.
Really, you did a great job. I mean, you shared a lot. Very vulnerable today, so thank you.
Yeah.
Very vulnerable. I didn't expect that at all.
Yes.
But no, it's cool. It's cool. And ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder before we go, 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. So if you have new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up, 619-884-0045, or james@csfirst.com. He'll hop on his Harley right over there, pick up those shoes from you, give you a great big hug, and say thank you very much. We're going to put up that thermometer so you guys can see exactly where we're at. And just a reminder, we do sell insurance. So hit up James if you have any of your insurance needs, whether it's life, health, personal, business, commercial, whatever it is you need, hit James up. Or if you want to add insurance into your business, maybe you have a real estate company, a mortgage company, a tax company, you want to add insurance into your business, don't leave that money on the table. Hit James up, 619-884-0045, or james@csfirst.com. And that's all we got for you guys today.
That's it.
Peace.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
And I'm out.
All right. Thank you so much, Facebook. We love y'all. Thank you,
Bye,
everybody.
Facebook.
Thanks, Katya.
Boom. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And we